So, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Deercast. A few of you have been asking about our larder setups, so Tom and I thought we'd just give you a brief canter through how we set our larders up and what they're like. So, before I had this unit, I had a Coke fridge in an old agricultural shed, but that wasn't really good enough. I couldn't really do more than 1 or 2 fallow in it, and it was all a bit mucky. So what I decided to do was to go and look for I initially actually thought about using a Luton van back, because I thought, a sort of shipping container would be ideal, but it's quite big and cumbersome. And then I actually came across this unit on Facebook Marketplace, which is the back of an old refrigerated 7.5 ton lorry. So we might be able to inset some photos and clips of actually getting it in. It was used for like dog food storage on some local farm, and I managed to get a guy with a HIAB to come and crane it in. I then had to use a tractor and a load of rollers to get it into here. It's bloody heavy, but it's actually ideal for what I wanted because it's insulated. It's got a proper roller door on it that you could completely padlock if you wanted to, which was important. And the reason I wanted an insulated one was because I was initially thinking about putting in some insulated walling and a door, and then having a dedicated refrigerator, like a dedicated chiller unit, because I thought you could probably do without having the back third, and then you'd have space for 2 rails and you could probably hang 10 deer. But over time I realised that was probably going to be a bit more than I would need for it. So what I decided to do was just get a Landig chiller and put that in. So that's 4 to 5 fallow, absolutely no problem, and that does me pretty much all the time. There might be the odd occasion where I need slightly more capacity, but got some other places we can put deer. So yeah, we got this. We use a load of angle grinders to cut all the fixings off the walls, which was a bit of a pain of a job, to be honest, and you can still see the marks from where they were left, which is a bit annoying. And then we used a sort of epoxy white paint to paint everything, make it all nice and white. I would like at some point to use like milking board to properly board out the whole thing, but I just haven't really had the time or more money to do that. Came with a checkerboard stainless steel floor, which is ideal. Obviously it does get very slippery in the winter. And me and my brother put in all this conduit for strip lighting, and we've got 2 sets of outdoor plugs that I use for the vacuum sealer and the mincer and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, then we kitted it out. So when I did this, it was sort of COVID back end of, and there were lots of pubs and restaurants closing down, so they were getting rid of a lot of stuff. So I managed to pick up this stainless steel table for like 50 quid, and also this, which is an old like prep fridge. So you'd have your in there, you'd have all your onion and what have you for service, and it doesn't well, I think it might work. I've never turned it on, but it's just quite a good another stainless steel surface. So and we also put rail system in, which is just scaffold pole really, with some of these bigger hooks on. Now you can slide a carcass along them. It's obviously not as good as a proper rail system, but I didn't really at the time have the money for a proper rail system, so we sort of made do with that, and it works as well as we need really. Winch as well was another quite important thing, so I got that one off like one of the internet shops, but that's been more than enough. Really useful for doing your gralloch, doing your skin, whatever, and then you can also obviously winch things up to go straight onto the rail. That's bolted to a plate on top of the roof, and then so yeah, you prep your carcass, put it on the rail, you can slide it down here, and then this is my Landig, and you can see it's got a good bit of space in it. 2 rails, and a handy little light as well, which is quite useful. And I leave this on, 2-3 degrees, and keeps a carcass perfectly for sort of up to 2 weeks, really. It also comes with this very handy bar that slides onto the end of these, sort of secures like that. So you can just literally get a hook, get a gambrel, and then you can slide things, get your gambrel on there and just slide a carcass all the way in, no hassle, take that off, and then you're there. Really easy, really simple. These do have a drip tray, which I've got, but I've sort of stopped using it. You can see there's like a little drain in the floor. Now that comes out to this hose here, which at the minute is just spilling onto the ground, but I'm going to drill through so it goes underneath and into a soakaway beneath for any drips or anything like that. So that will be quite handy. And yeah, it's a brilliant space. The thing I really like about it is it's big enough that I can do all the normal sort of gralloch and skinning and everything like that, but it's also got space for 2 or 3 of us to be in here processing. So, if you have a cull day, or if you've got 3 or 4 you want to butcher, you've got plenty of workstation here. You've got the hook so you can hang carcasses up. It's got all the plugs. It's got, I've just got a really bit of an upgrade on the vac sealer, so we can do vacuum sealing. We can someone there mincing. It actually works really well. I'm really glad I went for something bigger, because initially I was a bit worried about it being too big to sort of fit out, and obviously it was going to cost more to paint and sort out, but I'm really glad I went for something that was a good size, because it's meant that we've got a lot of capacity now for expansion, and then also if I do ever want to increase the capacity, we can always put a dedicated chiller on the back. So that is my sort of chiller / larder setup. Another thing to mention is actually hooks and gambrels and things like that. And Game Larder by Tarrant Refrigeration very kindly have sent us a bit of a selection of their products. These chest spreaders I particularly like. I find these to be a lot better than the other chest spreaders you get on the market, because they've got all these sort of teeth on them, so you can really get them into the rib cage, and they come in a few different sizes for different things. So that's really handy. They've got a sort of game carrier for hanging pheasants and that sort of thing. All of your swivel hooks, that's really good. They've got the ones that go on the winch, that's got the separate hook, so you can use it as a transfer gambrel. This massive game hanger, which you can put hooks into and then adjust the size. So if you've got a red, it'll be right out on the edge of this, or if you're on like a muntjac or a roe, you can move the hooks all the way in. It's just a really solid, well-built piece of stainless steel that isn't gonna bend or break or anything like that. So yeah, big thanks to them for that. I think that just about sums up the larder. But if any of you got any questions, then please leave them down in the comments. We'd be more than happy to answer. And thanks again for watching.